That's right.
The question is... hang on, I'll just have a little look here. Oh, we'll go for Marama Fox. Marama Davidson,
okay,
sorry.
thank you.
I was expecting the other Marama, but she apparently doesn't want to.
Thank you, right? Mr. Chair. Kia ora, tēnā koe, tēnā koutou, my colleagues in this House. The Green Party will absolutely be supporting Chris Hipkins' Education Amendment Bill, which will abolish charter schools. And that is, I want to remember NZEI Te Reuroa and what they've said around all New Zealand children deserve to be taught in a properly funded public education system by qualified teachers. And that's a fantastic starting point. I want to completely tautoko all the words of the previous speaker, my colleague Tracy Martin. I am going to focus somewhat on Māori children because absolutely the evidence is thin for whether charter schools will lift Māori achievement levels. And thin is not good enough. Thin evidence is not good enough for tamariki and mokopuna Māori. There should be far more support, far more support and endorsement of the movement of kohanga and kura kaupapa Māori in supporting Māori tamariki and mana motuhake in Māori education. The privatisation of education undermines public education, and I totally do not agree with the direction of privatising education, especially when it's going to undermine public education. The research relating to minorities around the world of charter schools, of partnership schools, is inconclusive. And that is the same as thin. And that is not good enough. That is not good enough as an experiment, as giving something a go. That is not good enough. That the evidence is inconclusive around the world relating to minorities and partnership and or charter schools. And so that we have to think collectively and understand that the benefit to Māori is likely to be minimal. I also want to acknowledge my colleague Tracy Martin referenced South Auckland Middle School, and I went there, I visited there, and I understand what is going on at that school, but I was very clear with Mr. Paul right from the get-go. I explained to him that I was coming to see the school, I was coming to get an understanding of how it operates, but that I'm very clear in my opposition to charter schools. I was very clear that all of our children deserve publicly funded and fully qualified teachers. And so, no, it wasn't at all about ideology, because ideology is charter schools, Mr. Seymour. So I was very clear that absolutely we need a strong, publicly funded education system to benefit all of our children. We need qualified teachers, we need accountability to ombudsman and so forth, and that is what our communities deserve, that is what our parents and whānau of our children deserve. So I want to talk about special character schools that can happen within the public system, such as Kia Aroha College in Otara, which was previously principalled by Dr. Anne Milne, an amazing school which really does model innovation, which raises warrior scholars within their special character school, that we are able to initiate and allow for public schools to come up with schools. This Kia Aroha College has a particular focus on social justice, on upholding the identity and the learning ways of every individual student and their collective group as well, of heralding students who are critically conscious of a school that is culturally responsive. They are able to do things differently without undermining the public education system that our country needs to be better supported, especially for Māori, tamariki and Māori students. So we can do things differently. Independent thinkers and collaborators can happen not at the expense of public schools. And so just to sum up, Mr. Chair, that we also need to focus back on the societal drivers and issues such as poverty, housing, health and employment instead of making education for business. Kia ora.